Okay, so hello YouTube, what's up? Today I'm going to be going over a short tutorial on how to assemble one of the Hellion Labs paintable barrel pods. It's these 6 barrels here and these 3 acrylic spacers here. Normally if you buy a barrel pod from us, it'll come looking like this. As you can see, it's already completely assembled and it's unpainted. The reason we're offering this option here is because a lot of people want to paint their barrel pods, and if you get paint on the acrylic components, that could potentially lead to jams on your gun. So that's why we have that option. Here's a sample of one of the barrels that I've done myself. It's just a basic flat black, and as you can see, the acrylic components are still clear. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you'll need a Maverick that's been modified using the Hellion Labs Maverick mod. Next, you'll need a hot melt glue gun, and you'll need some sort of adhesive. In this bottle I have acrylic cement, but super glue would work just fine as well. So your first step will be to actually paint these barrels. I won't be painting these barrels because I don't need another painted barrel pod, but go ahead and paint these if you want to at this moment. When you're painting them, go ahead and put a piece of tape along the bottom and on the top. That'll keep spray paint from getting on the inside of these barrels. Each barrel has 2 sides. There's a top and a bottom. If you can see, this bottom here is completely flat, and this top here has a little chamfer along the inside that makes it a little easier for darts to get in. So just remember top and bottom. So I'll go ahead and name these things. I'm going to call this one here the bottom spacer. Okay? This one here is now called the middle spacer. And this one here is the top spacer. As you can see, this side here has a bit of a raised bump here because of the washer. And this side here is completely flat. This side's the bottom, this side's the top. Okay, so your first step is going to be to put a ring of glue around this hole here. Like that, okay? So you want to put just enough glue that it'll hold the barrels in place, but not so much that all your glue will squirt out everywhere. Go ahead and hold it down until it sets. Shouldn't take too long. Next you'll need to take your middle spacer and slide it down this barrel here. Just like that. Okay, next you'll go ahead and put a barrel here and another barrel there to form a triangle. Okay, now that you have these 3 barrels in, go ahead and fill in the rest of them. If you accidentally put one of these barrels in backwards, such as put the top where the bottom should be, it's not such of a big deal. You can actually pull these barrels out if you want, or you could just leave them in place and just put another chamfer along the inside of that barrel. Okay, so now that you have these 6 barrels in place, or at least almost in place. Okay, so now that you have these in place, this is what you should be looking at. Alright, so the next step will be to take this top spacer and slide it on to these barrels here. Remember, this side here is the top, this one's the bottom. Bottom side's flat, top side is up, okay? So go ahead and start in one corner and work your way around. You'll need to wiggle these barrels and move them a little bit to get it into place, but it should fit. Alright, so there you go. So this is what you're looking at now. As you can see, this top spacer is level with the tops of these barrels here, okay? Hopefully you guys can see that. Alright, now look at the bottom. If you can see these holes here, they shouldn't have any glue on the inside. If they do have glue on the inside, that means that you used a little too much hot melt glue. So go ahead and use a drill bit to clean them out, or you can use a hobby knife to clean them out also. Mine look okay, so I'll just leave them the way they are. The next thing is you'll want to separate the middle spacer from the bottom spacer. If you remember, we didn't actually glue the middle spacer into place, so we can move it. So just use your fingernails and pry it out. Okay, so the length between the middle spacer and the bottom spacer doesn't matter so much, but usually I like to leave it at about a finger's width apart, such as this. So go around the whole thing and check to make sure that it's even. Okay, so now you're ready to glue this middle spacer into place. So just put a dab of adhesive where it meets the barrel. And work your way around. Alright, so the next thing is we're going to go ahead and fit it to the Maverick. So go ahead and open up your Maverick and slide your barrel pod on. Since these components are laser cut, it should fit perfectly. If it doesn't, then you can use a file to clean up any things that aren't quite right, but it should fit perfectly. Okay, so the next thing is you'll need to check the fit of the barrel pod to the gun. If you wiggle this barrel pod, you can see it wiggles a little bit. This one looks like it's pretty good. If you have too much wiggle space, then you may need to move up this spacer, move it up a little bit that way. But the thing that you're really looking for is you want to make sure that the plunger stays in contact with the bottom spacer here. So just look really carefully. So let's say that this one is just pushed down too much. As you can see, it just wiggles all over the place, and you lose contact with the bottom plunger. So just scoot it up if that's the problem. If your gun is jamming up a lot, it's possible that this front spacer is too far forward, so scooch it down just a little bit. Sometimes these can be a little tricky to get on when they're new. Anyway, so alright, looks like a good gun. So go ahead and like us if you like this video, and subscribe if you'd like to keep updated with what we're doing here at Hellion Labs, and have a good one. Bye.